Hello and welcome to this, I guess you would call it, very special episode. So I thought about just popping this explanation on my latest episode, but I was afraid it would be a bit long, so I've decided to make it a separate post on my feed. So stick with me. It's a new announcement, but I'll probably be doing a quick version of this in the beginning of the next few episodes as well, just so I make sure as many people as possible see this kind of explanation for a small change. You probably won't notice it a lot on this feed, but I still want to say it just so I don't know, it's a good update. So yeah, stick with me. So I've been struggling with consistently posting in all the places I enjoy creating content for. I used to be doing like 4 episodes a month on this feed, but now I've been dropping that down to 2 just because I've been creating content in other places as well. So from TikTok, YouTube, writing and podcasting, all that stuff. I enjoy utilizing various avenues to present stuff. So I've realized I've kind of overextended myself though, while trying to do what I love and also pay the rent. I can't do that too much. Now, this is not an announcement that the podcast is ending. Far from that. More like refocusing so I don't go insane. I realized when I was doing my reading and research throughout the week, I'd get an idea. I'd start writing something out and be thinking, could I use this for YouTube? Should I make this into a blog post? Should this be a podcast episode? Should this solely be a bonus episode? Is this enough for an entire episode? That type of thing. And then I'd end up half-assing one of those and feel like I wasn't producing my best work or would fail to produce any of them, actually. So I needed a compromise. A compromise I have found. I think I didn't know, what it was for sure, but about a month ago, I officially rolled out an exclusive newsletter or a letter. I like to call it a letter because it's not really the news. It's definitely just like a letter. But I'm going through Substack, and with that letter, it also provides audio, like a podcast feed as well. So basically, let me try to explain this. I appreciated the support so far with that, and the support from that got me thinking, why am I obsessing about separating my content, making everything in kind of a cohesive narrative every episode? The point of my show isn't purely education. It's about educating my showing my thought process, presenting what I learn, and sometimes providing my personal experience. I've had people message me where it's common, like, they smoke weed listening to my stuff or something like that, where it's much more of like, I see my show as trying to be thought-provoking over just purely educational, and kind of, I try to be entertaining as well, the way I speak. And, this is kind of actually how I talk in real life too. But, I just don't, I experienced a lot of teachers in college and whatnot, kind of boring to listen to sometimes. And they just weren't passionate about what they were talking about. So I like to stay talking about things I'm passionate about. And I realize sometimes when I make those kind of cohesive episodes, I kind of lose interest part of the way through. And I think this is a way to spice things up a little bit. So my point isn't to, on the show, isn't it to appear as an expert? I'm trying to be relatable, be human, By doing all of this, I hope to give you something to think about, something to consider, and kind of insert a sense of wonder into your mind. And that's my motivation. So, yeah. So the compromise, man, I'm fumbling my words today. So the compromise is that I'm going to prepare at least one, I'll call it letter each week, which will also include an audio version. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Okay, backtrack. Let me explain this part first. So each episode will have segments for each episode. Sometimes a segment will connect perfectly. Sometimes they will be mostly connecting. And sometimes it will be one long, like my traditional episodes. So let's say one week I cover psychedelics, and maybe I connect that to consciousness or some new research coming out of neuroscience. That's something where I would say that's mostly connecting. Or then maybe sometimes I cover some article where we have taken in radio waves from some alien planet, and then I switch topics and start talking about the incoherentness of Christian morality. That would be where it's not super connected. I think those would happen less often, but I want to be able to utilize the mostly connecting stuff to kind of, I think that there's a way of doing that shows the thought process that I think would be fun. And then sometimes it'll be just the traditional episodes where, I do an entire episode on nihilism and the whole thing from beginning to end, I connect my end point to my beginning point, and it's like this long essay type format. Sometimes it'll be that. But I realize when I restrict myself to just doing that one long format, I end up not producing an episode. And I think it'd be better to have the content coming out. Because I do move on to things too quickly because that's just the way I work. So I hope that part makes sense. So this will help, kind of help me take those certain segments and make those into YouTube videos, that type of thing. Now the exclusive feed is like your all-in-one package. So we usually will include my more personal stories from my trip reports, dream reports, short stories. My short stories, which are going to be very philosophy and psychology focused, very idea focused. I'm working on that. I'm planning to make it into a book. Those would be exclusively in the exclusive letter. But the point of doing this is to keep, I don't know if the right word is, I don't really have an issue with trolls, but people coming in are going to be more understanding of me. It's not like someone just randomly finding my podcast, they listen to an episode and they're going to be like, what the fuck is this guy on about? It's that barrier where it's like, okay, they vibe with me, essentially, So basically it kind of keeps those trolls out of my more personal thoughts. And also, to be honest, I see those who support me with currency as more likely to be understanding of where my thought process misses the mark. They'll be understanding of those moments. But the point is for you to see that thought process and most personal story. So the exclusive feed is like a combination of the behind the scenes, more personal content, and because like trip reports and dream stuff, that's very personal, and just more content in general than this regular feed episode. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, if you're already a Patreon supporter, I've yeeted your email on over to the Substack, so nothing should change. You might want to update the RSS feed, which is the podcast audio thing, using the Substack one, because I'll be updating that one. That'll be more up to date. I'm going to try to do the Patreon one because I know some people just to this day still trust Patreon a little bit more, even though Substack is about to pass Patreon as and as a investment, I guess you could say. But anyway, my point is this. This will keep me updating this feed more while also building something that helps me commit more time to this, such as, paying the bills. I think it's a win-win in my mind. It'll keep me more organized and just have me more consistently producing on this feed. Now the Substack feed and the exclusive letter feed that also includes audio, it's only $5 a month or $39 for the year for the exclusive version. I'm doing those rates for the next couple months, but that year rate will likely go up in the next couple months. It's more so that discounted to help promote initial support as I get my shit figured out. But I'm getting there. I like the progress I've made in gathering support for that exclusive letter so far. So yeah, also I'm in the business of helping people and I like doing this. I appreciate people's thoughts. And, every time I get a message of where I like someone listened to my episode and I helped them with something, or I made them realize something, or made them think differently about something, that type of thing. I love getting those, that's what my content's for. So I don't want to prevent people from having access to that more content if they want, because I get, because I get it. Money can be tight sometimes. Trust me, I know that. I'm not wealthy by any means at all. So if you'd like the exclusive letter but can't afford it, please just hit me with an email that includes your email, and I'll add you. So, we'll just kind of use the honor system for that as well. And do that. I don't want to, when I said barrier in the beginning of the episode, I don't want it to be a barrier of entry. I want it to be a barrier of people putting a little bit more effort towards me to be on that feed. I hope that part makes sense. Yeah, it's definitely not meant to be a barrier of entry as in like, give me your money type thing. If that does help me. So I want to be upfront about that as well. Anyway, all these links will be in the description below. You should see the Substack link where, you can subscribe. I'll also include my snip feed link, which is my links to all my shit. So yeah, the Substack exclusive feed would then, I don't know if I want to call it an exclusive feed. The Substack Pro feed. I don't know, whatever I want to call it. I need to change the art, the podcast art on that new feed as well. But anyway, That feed would become your one-stop shop for my stuff, except for YouTube and TikTok. But plus, I would be sometimes sending out thoughts in just kind of letter format. So you will get those kind of updates and that type of shit. And yeah, the short stories. You'll also get a copy of my upcoming book when those short stories get combined into kind of like this dialogue book that I'm planning. But if that doesn't interest you, you will be still getting the episodes on this feed, but they will essentially become the free version. So yeah, I hope all that makes sense. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I try to answer as quickly as possible. But yeah, thank you again for all your continued support. And yeah, time for you to get the fuck out of here. Bye.